Archon. Third Archon would help too with Maelstrom, but he has Archons, and this is going to be very horrible. So this is all going to come down to this, and Mutalisk is just going to run away as soon as he sees those Crusaders and Archons bearing down on him. Ground forces for Stork now have weapons 1, so that's going to be insane, a lot of damage. Those Archons are going to completely melt those Mutalisk if they can come close to contact with him. Some Scourge, I think one Scourge managed to land, but not taking down a single Corsair. Very interesting the kind of army that Stork really has. There's a lot of Zealots, has some Archons to support, and a bunch of Corsairs to fly up in the air. So that's very interesting tactic overall there. He's going to go around, should be able to take care of any elements. Mutalists are going to be able to try to support the ground force defenses as well as he can. Those Archon Zealots are going to be able to move and do a lot of damage. Those ZerO's going to be forced to pull those Mutalists back due to the fear of those Archons doing that. He's going to have to trust the sunken columns to help this defense, so those Corsairs flying are everywhere, trying to take as many overlords as they can. On the opposite side, trying to destruct as much as they can. Some Hydrisk on the ground, also going to take some pot shots on that. And now the problem is that ZerO can't allow himself to do the proper Mutalisk micro. He can't stack his Mutalisk due to the splash damage that both the Corsairs as well as the Archons do, so it's actually a perfect counter. He really shouldn't have, I think maybe he shouldn't have gotten those Mutalisk. He will need those to try to take down High Templar, but not a lot of High Templar overall there for Stork. Cybernetics are also spitting, so he's getting weapons upgrades for his air forces, unless he's planning to push out some Dragoons alongside to help take care of these Mutalisks that are flying all over the place. But I think with those Archons and Corsairs in the air, definitely in a pretty good position to do that. Finally now getting some Hydrisk overall to help him also against those Corsairs, because you don't really want Mutalists that they don't do as much damage as you want fast enough. Also, Shield Battery being put down by Stork, so he's recognizing that his front may be a little bit vulnerable at this point. He has a lot of forces. He has forces roaming in the air. He doesn't really, or in the air and on the ground, doesn't really have a lot of defenses though. So he has to be very careful overall in that fact. I'm liking overall how this map is working. ZerO has those 3 gases, but the third base at the far north at the 1 o'clock position is a little bit vulnerable, because getting to that base is a little bit difficult. But he's definitely trying to get the large amount of forces that he can. He has still that large Mutalisk group who hasn't really taken a lot of damage. He's going to take down this one scouting Zealot that's been running around. Even more Zealots in the coming. He has to be very careful not to get those into the group of the Mutalists that are going to be coming. There's some Zerglings alongside those too, so he has to be very careful. He has to have some Corsairs and Archons alongside to defend. Those Mutalisks are definitely going to be able to melt all those Zealots. So okay, he does have Dragoons, so those Cybernetics Corps, that might just be Dragoon range and not Corsair attack. A second or third evolution chamber beam, I think that's the second evolution chamber being put down by ZerO, so he's gonna get even more upgrades. Corsairs flying in, managing to take out one Corsair, but not managing to do much else. But still, every single Corsair counts. He has a lot of Scourge at this point there. ZerO, that is. Now, Stork gonna pull out ZerO a little bit too late to pull his Zerglings out of the way, so at least he knows that Stork is on the move, trying to move his forces out. Stork actually has a sizable force. We're going to see whether he goes out and tries to take out an expansion. He has 4 High Templar, quite a few of Dragoons, quite a few of Zealots alongside, some Scourge again trying to land, killing 1 Corsair, so that's a pretty good job overall. This Mutalisk could do a lot of damage if Stork is not careful here. He's going to need to make sure that those High Templar do not get sniped. That's going to be his main job here. Never mind the Scourge, never mind that. The Scourge are distractionary attacks. He's taking down those Corsairs just so those Mutalisks can fly in. Those Mutalisks now only have to worry about the Archons, so if they catch the Archons out of position, they're going to be able to snipe the High Templar, and sniping the Templar is going to be a very good job. Now Stork is actually thinking of taking them and putting down a pylon, so that's what he's thinking of. He's thinking of putting down a Nexus right in the middle, because he knows the amount of damage he's going to take. Now, although some storms coming off, ZerO doing a pretty good job trying to snipe some Templar. I think he got 1 or 2. Not quite sure, because I'm not seeing a lot of Templar there on the ground. Only 1 single Templar now there for Stork, so definitely, although he has done a pretty good job again. Some attacks again. Mutalisk moving in, not managing to get any hits on Templar. Do manage. Oh, almost managed to snipe the Templars. Templar still alive. No, the Templar actually does go down. Did manage to get some storms up. On the opposite side, ZerO also actually going to move in with Hydrisk. I'm not quite sure if there's enough damage been done. Those Dragoons and Zealots not in the perfect position. Because those Mutalisks also just raining death upon those ground forces there. Stork moving all of his Dragoons backwards, just making sure they don't get killed, but he's definitely not going to be able to take this middle. Far too large number of Hydras there. ZerO did lose very large number of Mutalisks, but all in all worth it. Took down all the High Templar. all the Archons were lost in that battle as well, with those Hydrasks moving in at just the amount of time. Now ZerO again thinking of pushing it. I think he has to be very careful to make sure where he runs with this. Hydrasks are moving down. There are some Zealots there in position, just being shot all over the place. A lot of Hydrasks being killed though. Zealot's doing a pretty good job overall of blocking. There are some Hydrasks just coming in for a pincer as well, so ZerO's doing a pretty good job overall. Storm going off there. That's what he needed all this time. Storm's coming in a little bit late, but now finally I think Stork might actually hold this. He has some Zealots still on the ground, he has some Dragoons, and he is indeed going to push ZerO back. ZerO still has some Hydras though in position, but it just does not have enough anymore to push in. He has a Mutalisk there as well, but that's not going to help him. He's going to try to take down the High Templar, but that's not good. High Templar does actually go down, so no fear of storms again. Going to see whether ZerO tries to be offensive, but now again Stork has so many Zealots. He's just rebuilding Zealots because he knows if he has those Zealots enough, they're going to be able to engage the Hydrasks, and with those Dragoons that he has, they're going to be able to engage them, the Hydrask, at range while not taking any damage themselves. That's why this Dragoon Zealot combo is so good against this 5-hatch Hydra, because if you keep them at bay with the Zealots and just use Dragoons to shell, as well as High Templar to shell all those Hydras, doesn't matter how large a number of Hydras you have, they're going to get completely killed. On the opposite side, ZerO now going to put down some lurkers. You're going to get those ready to help him out. It's going to be very, very good. And especially also going for a drop. He's getting a lot of Hydras getting ready for a drop. And this is what this map is very good for, actually, because the main is huge. The mage is ginormous, and you can really drop a lot on it because there's a lot of room, a lot of space. Whether it's a hidden drop or this kind of drop, just full on, hey, I'm dropping you drop. We're going to see ZerO had some lurkers that are being caught in the open, and ZerO's actually going to cancel his draw. Just going to push in with a few lurkers, Zerglings, and Hydra, just trying to keep Stork inside of his base. He's been doing a pretty good job overall of that. Stork is still mining only on 2 bases, hasn't really taken his third yet so far. Tried to take the middle, but that didn't go out too well. I think Stork should instead be thinking of taking a slightly more safe position. Of course, the problem here is that if he could technically take the mineral only at the lower left, which has been broken because ZerO broke the temples there. But that doesn't give an additional gas, but it's still at least a base he's going to have. Now Stork is going to move out with some Zealots. He has some Zervers to help him out, so these lurkers are instantly going to become absolute mincemeat. Now, wonderful storm going off on a lot of those Hydras. High Templar moving in position again, storming all over all those Hydras. Wonderful storms there. This is what I tell you. Stork's been practicing with Zhangbi. ZerO doing a pretty decent job of pinching, though, moving up this Hydra with some Hydras moving on from all positions. This is what one of the new features of this real map is, that this allows for the more maneuverable races to really do this kind of thing. The Zerglings just get absolute surrounds. This is how ZerO keeps himself in this base. I think at this point ZerO really should think about taking a 4th, because if he manages to keep Stork inside and get a 4th and get a 4th gas, he's going to be able to push, get some perhaps get some Ultralisks going, and if he manages to get Ultralisk without allowing Stork a 3rd base, then he's going to be a really good position. Now again thinking of a drop inside of the main. We're going to see whether he does that or not. This time at least, I think Stork does not quite see it coming, so there are going to be Hydralists moving in. Now he just has to focus on all of that. Just going to have to kill some mining, kill some unit production. Stork does move with forces pretty quick enough, so we're going to see whether ZerO is going to retreat. He has some Overlords flying away. One Overlord getting killed meanwhile. We're going to see. Yeah, he's actually going to go and retreat, take the last of his, make sure that it doesn't lose. Stork now finally putting down the base. He's actually. Okay, that's not a mineral only. I thought that